أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وأفضل الصلاة وتم التسليم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters. We continue with our series on responding to the divine call in the Qur'an. Today our focus is on a verse in Surah Al-Ma'idah. In this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses us saying, يا أيها الذين آمنوا اذكروا نعمة الله عليكم إذ هم قوم أن يبسطوا إليكم أيديهم فكف أيديهم عنكم واتقوا الله وعلى الله فليتوكل المؤمنون. O you who believe, remember the blessing of Allah upon you. When people attempted to stretch out their hands against you, when people were bent on harming you, and He restrained them from you, He restrained their harm from you. Remain then conscious of Allah and let believers place their trust in Allah. Let those who have faith place their trust in Allah. The scholars of tafsir connect this verse to a few different incidents in the lifetime of the Prophet ﷺ. All of them have to do with moments in which there was a plot against him ﷺ. There was a plot to harm him. There was a plot to essentially assassinate him, or a moment in which his life was immediately under threat. And there's something that we need to remember when we think about Rasulullah ﷺ and the generation of the companions, which is that for the vast majority of his mission, ﷺ, the vast majority of his 23-year mission, to be a Muslim was to put one's life on the line. The mere fact of saying La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, and joining the Muslim community and putting one's lot in with the Muslim community was essentially putting one's life on the line and putting a target on your back. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls the believers in this verse to remember the blessing of Allah when He protected them, when He restrained harm from reaching them, when there were those who were bent on assassinating Rasulullah ﷺ or harming the Muslim community at large. We live in a time, brothers and sisters, where narratives of victimization are unfortunately too common, where narratives that focus on what is done to us rather than what we are empowered to do. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here reminds us of the blessing of well-being, the blessing of well-being. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, من أصبح معافا في جسده آمنا في سربه عنده قوت يومه فكأنما حيزت له الدنيا. Whoever reaches the morning and he's in good health, his body is in good shape, and he's safe in his place, or he's safe in his community, and he has what suffices him for that day, it's as if the whole dunya was gathered up and put in front of him. In other words, the blessing of safety, the blessing of well-being is beyond anything that we could imagine. Ramadan is a time for us to remember the blessings of Allah upon us. When we experience just a little bit of deprivation, just a little bit of the removal of the comforts that are normally available to us, let that be a reminder of the immense blessings that we enjoy, the innumerable, uncountable blessings that we enjoy. The sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, they said, يُعَظِّمُ النِّعْمَةَ وَإِن دَقَّتْ. He would look at every blessing as being grand, every blessing as being great, even if in the eyes of people it was something that was small, even if it seemed like something that was not particularly significant in the eyes of others. The Prophet ﷺ was deeply aware of the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon him. And awareness of our blessings and gratitude for those blessings is something that enables us and directs us towards using those blessings for good. directing those blessings towards good, putting whatever it is that Allah has put at our disposal uh, in His service, in the service of His Prophet ﷺ, in the service of His Deen, in the service of humanity. And with wars breaking out internationally, with everything that we've seen in the past 20 years, it really behooves us, brothers and sisters, to simply be aware that if we enjoy safety, if we have even the possibility to make i'tikaf, how many countries are there in the Muslim world where it's either not allowed at all to make i'tikaf, or you can only do it after jumping through so many hoops? How many places where that's the case? If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted us the blessing of safety, of freedom, of well-being, let us use those blessings. Let us use those blessings for service of the legacy of the Prophet ﷺ, for service of humanity. Let us remember the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala this Ramadan, and let us experience a deep and full sense of gratitude for those blessings. Gratitude, one of the scholars defined gratitude, he said, istifraq al-taqa, that you expend your utmost energy, that you put everything that you have in the disposal of everything that you have at your disposal in the service of Allah, in the service of His Deen. We ask Allah that He allow us to recognize His blessings, to be grateful for them, and to use them in that which is pleasing to Him, and to use them in a way that is beneficial to others. أقول قولي هذا. جزاكم الله خيرا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.